Hello there everyone, and this is a different video for now because this is not a brick related video. However, since I've actually had a few Mattel figures with me, I'd rather go with this one because I'm quite excited to do surgery on my Indoraptor. Alright, so let's go on with the video. So here's my Indoraptor. This has gone a lot of things already. It has broken legs, which I actually tried to fix, and I had a friend fix it for me. It also has a lot of, the tail is already stiff. But what I was actually looking forward to do here is that this Indoraptor would have a facelift. Well, technically a surgery on the head, because Marco Makes over here, ding ding, actually has released a head replacement for this Indoraptor, and we were able to somehow procure the copy, and now it has arrived, and I had it 3D printed, and now that it's here, we wanted to try it on. Alright, so let's do some surgery on our Indoraptor, shall we? Alright, so we have here our package where we have to, get the pieces. So let's get it. Let's open up. And let's take all the pieces. So we have here a few 3D printed pieces of the head of the Indoraptor. As you can see here, it's so gorgeous. So I would say that Marco Makes it such a genius in terms of scope. As you can see here, this is the top part of the Indoraptor. You can see those sharp teeth over here. Of course, it has a lower jaw that comes with it. It fits perfectly over here. Some of the teeth would overlap over each other, and then of course it has the neck section for it. So here we have the neck section for this Indoraptor. Right, so yeah, it fixes it. Yep. So first thing we need to do now is to remove the head of our current Indoraptor here. And how to do that? So there are two ways on how to do it. So we have here a hair dryer, which we can heat, of course, the head over here. And I've tried it earlier on. However, it's taking long for me to remove the head. So what I did is, number two, here we boil some water. All right, and you can see it's boiling, and we're going to use this as our heat source for our surgery. Right, so we pour in the water that we have here over a glass of water. Be very, very careful. Right, and we will dunk the head of our Indoraptor here. And so we wait for a few minutes, and then we fry it open. You may want to use a screwdriver, or I don't know, or probably a screwdriver or knife, just to fry it open, so that you can, it's easier. Right, so we wait for a few minutes, and then it should be the plastic should weaken, and we will be able to fry open the Indoraptor. Alright, so once this is done, and you have seen that it has already weakened, we are going to fry this open. So I will be using two hands, so yeah. And here it is, guys. So I was initially thinking that it has two parts to it, but eventually it actually has three parts. So so if we're going to, so we have here one on the other side, and then we have here another one, and then of course the lower jaw would be here. So I think you can also remove this one, the front part. So we have four parts to it. Yeah, 1 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to keep this just so, probably there's a need for customizing other dinosaurs, and we're ready to put on the Marco Makes Indoraptor head. Alright, so we're back, and we have here our parts for the head of our Indoraptor. So first up, what we need to do is of course attach this one to the headpiece here, or to the neck piece, I mean. So you can see that it fits perfectly over this part, right? So what we need to do is get your super glue over here and that put it on the surfaces where this and that attach. So that means you can put it here, over here, also here, probably not here, so that you'll have some movement as well still remaining on the figure. And then of course yeah, so that's it. So we're going to put it here, disassemble it like so, and then later on we'll be putting in the headpiece. So so before we put on the headpiece, of course we just have to also attach it there, but we have to somehow paint on the details of the insides of the mouth first, and also the teeth, before we put it in place, because it's going to be hard for us to paint it while it is on the figure, right? So let's do that. So we have here a mixture of a pink, some crimson red, a little bit of yellow ochre, and some white, and we're mixing them out together so that we'll get the actual colors of the insides of the mouth. Do it in small portions so that you won't have to readjust every now and then. Alright, so once we have mixed this, we're going to paint the insides of the mouth of the Indoraptor before we attach it to the body, of course. Okay, so we have here a mix of white and a little bit of yellow ochre, and we're painting carefully. Now, the teeth, these are not like the usual Lego teeth that I'm actually painting, so I'm trying my best not to, over paint on some of the unnecessary details. And now that we have this already painted over here, we're going to assemble the head of the Indoraptor. So first up, we have the lower jaw over here. So make sure it fits in perfectly. Sits over at the bottom like so, and then this one, yeah, look at how awesome that is. So we just have to put on some more super glue over here, and we're ready to finish up the painting. Okay, so now that the lower jaw is positioned, now we put some Mighty Bond or super glue, and then we drizzled around baking soda so that it sticks really great. Now we're starting on with the painting. We dry brushed over some black on the entire body so that everything would look like one piece, and then with gold we're actually putting in some dabs on one side, and then another type of gold will also be painted on another stripe. You can see here on the other side here that we're putting on the yellowish gold, and later on we'll be putting in the orangey gold. We're also painting some details on the scales on top of its head and neck, and later on we'll also be painting on some of the quills also of this Indoraptor. So here we're painting on details of the eyes. First we have a mixture of brick red and a little bit of white, and we're putting in very carefully with this fine brush on the eyeball here. Later on we'll be putting on the black or the pupils, but that will come in later once this is actually dried. And this is the finished product. So the paint now is cool and everything is looking great. And here is our finished Indoraptor after surgery and a few, makeup touches here and there. So here is the head of the original Indoraptor. We can, make comparison over here. Let's have this a little bit closer, and you can see the difference in terms of scope. Definitely this has more likeness to the actual movie character or hybrid. This one has, although it's a good attempt at doing the Indoraptor, I would of course prefer this one over the other, just because well, for a lot of reasons, to be honest. Teeth here is not a fan of the teeth. Also, the articulation of the jaw is quite funny. The overall head sculpt and also the painting on this one is too shiny for me. So also could use more quills. This one has 6 only, this one has a lot. And yeah, so those are the differences between the original sculpt and this one. And Usher is quite angry about something, but yeah. So taking a look closely of the actual figure over here, you can see here that I've made some adjustments in terms of this overall painting scheme as well. I don't know if you can see it. I did some adjustments into the eye, put a little catch light over there. Also, I painted all of the teeth, even the smaller ones, and I've also painted the insides of the mouth over here, so you can see that there's a ton of detail that Marco Makes actually did for this one, so I really like it. Also continued the markings over here. I used 2 tones of gold, one more yellow and then the other one more deep gold, so somehow orangey in a way, and continued on to the rest of the body. Also, just so the color schemes of the head and also the rest of the body is somehow similar, I did a dry brush of black over it, and put in some more details of gold over its back, as you can see here. Alright, so there are no changes in terms of the arms and the legs. I think Mattel did a really cool job at doing the Indoraptor here. This particular Mattel figure also has a long tail, which contrary to some of the Mattel figures we have recently, which had shorter tails. I wish they could make the tails similar to this one. It's long and it does wonders for the figure as well. So that is it for our Indoraptor surgery, and I hope you guys enjoy this one. And if you happen to like this video, please comment your suggestions below if you would like me to go on this particular path. I will still be doing a lot of Lego or brick stuff, but maybe here and then, or a few times I would also include videos like this for you guys to enjoy as well. So also I would be putting in the link of Marco Make Shop, where we got the 3D prints sculpt from file. So please check it out Marco makes is such a genius in terms of, you know, creating this wonderful stuff for some of the toys. And also his Rubbersaurus are the best, although I don't have that much money to afford those. But yeah, definitely would like to have one of those Rubbersauruses someday in the future. Alright guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next.